Okay, so let me see if I can pick back up where I left off. And so um, it was more of the same. It was more of the, Mom, you always go to the deep end. That's what I was looking for before, the deep end. I'm talking about the high end, but it was the opposite. You always go to the deep end. You always make it more than it needs to be. You're so dramatic. And I was like, okay. But then after a while, that shit got on my nerves. It got on my nerves that I was being approached about it again after I had already resolved within myself. Note taken when the son said it the first time. Okay, my second child is bringing it up. So it is something that it's a dynamic that I need to be aware of. Me going to the deep end on shit is shit they're tired of. That's how I saw it. My children were showing up in solidarity, which they rarely do, to let me know that they're tired of something that is my behavior. And I get it. And I support it. I'm here for it. I'm here for children holding their adult parents accountable. I really am. I absolutely am here for adult children holding their parents accountable. How else is their growth? How else is their a sense of established self if the person that you spent most of your developmental time with is not willing to admit their own faults and the shit that they've done that have made you feel like you're batshit crazy? I know I've made my children feel like they are batshit crazy. I know it. I know it because I know who I am. I know that I was controlling. I know that I regulated every space. I know that I sucked up the oxygen out of all rooms. I know that I did it because I was needy. I know that I did it because I have a strong standard. I did it because it was protective in my effort to create an expectation of excellence for them, by them. And so I was austere. I was severe. I was, not always the most pleasant or nice parent to be around. Let's just be perfectly honest. I was, and many times emotionally unstable, oftentimes physically, in terms of material wealth, unstable. My mental health, absolutely unstable throughout various times of parenting. And I'm just going to put that on me. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that dynamic, but there have been many times through my parenting journey where I have been 2 cents away from 100% wrong. You understand what I'm saying? And so I understand that my children were raised in a dynamic that they feel a need to be expressive about. I get it. But this was the challenge for me today. At what point, as a parent who is being a parent and being present and being available and accessible, at what point do your children have to learn to, and your adult children especially, to back the fuck down and back the fuck back with whatever their issue is? Because at this point in time, one of the things that I have done for my children is that you've made it to adulthood, and you have a toolkit, you have a supportive community, and you have a supportive and unconditionally loving parent. So I've given the things that I felt were most important for my children to have: an education, a solid academic education and background, and a solid emotional intelligence education and background. And so when they show up in their emotional intelligence, as I stated, I respect it and I receive it. However, I'm not about to be bullied by my children. You're not going to tag team me on an issue. You're not. You brought it up, fine. We can joke about it, fine. You can joke about it more, fine. I don't want to be the butt of my children's jokes. I don't want to be the butt of anybody's jokes, and I have been. And maybe it's a trigger point for me. But it's particularly a challenge for me when dealing with my adult children who thinks that it's okay to sit back and constantly mock me and not understand that I consider that to be extremely disrespectful, especially when I've already laughed as much at myself as I can. So this saying, my daughter says it all the time, kicked dog will holler. And yeah, I was the kicked dog, and I did holler. And why are you kicked as a dog that's gonna holler? Because what have you done, dog, to be kicked, right? You've done something, somebody's kicking you, and you hollering about it now. So when a dog shits on the floor, when a dog eats off of the human table or the human plate, when the dog attacks the family or the youngest child, that dog is going to get kicked. Whether it's, what it means is discipline. That dog's going to get disciplined, right? And the dog is going to holler because it feels a way about being disciplined. I get it. It's like this ugly cycle of parent and child. And now as I'm aging and in my own spaces of physical health vulnerability, I'm being disciplined basically by my children. My adult children are showing up to say they have a problem with a variety of different things in their adult experience as it's related to me, their mother. I think this is why people say go get therapy. I've had to. And so they've presented with these challenges, right? I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me because my child is calling on the other line. I may have to get back to this. Okay. So anyway, they've shown up. I'm the kick dog. I'm hollering. And what I'm hollering is, I don't like this. I find it to be disrespectful when I'm asking something of my two children and I don't even know what that means. And their response to me is something snarky or sarcastic, and that's where it had gotten today. Again, with this whole thing of how I respond when X. And it was said so snarkily out of the mouth of my son. It was not just borderline disrespectful, it was all the way disrespectful. And then I come inside and I'm addressing the two of them about the fact that they engage in this endeavor, saying to them, I need to have a conversation with both of you respectfully. I'm going to make you all aware of something in this moment so that you can be aware of it and we can move through it. All right, here I come.
We're leaving.
I'll be back. These videos, like I said today, they're going to be in phases.